I'm Jockey Taylor from Eden Mencap Society in Penrith, and I've learned about jugs today, and helicopters, and role modelling, and what it's all about, compassion and resilience, which actually is what we really need to get, because if I could learn to do it, it might really help me quite a bit. Our staff are very compassionate. I'm very compassionate, but just not really very kind to myself. So today has taught me to, well, it's allowed me to be kind to myself. So I'm going to work on that, and this training has made it happen. So thank you.
Hi, my name's Anna Concha. I'm the care manager for Penrith Domiciliary Care Services in Penrith. We have taken our staff on an extremely emotional journey over the last 12 months. We're getting more experience with dementia. Our staff are now struggling on their emotional journey, and I believe that the training today with the compassion and the resilience, if I can make my staff more resilient on their emotional journeys, then our service users can only benefit and hopefully learn to have some resilience as well, which will only then make this community a better place to live in, where we are all compassionate and we are all resilient. And I just wish we could have some more of this training very soon.
Because without the resilience, we haven't got the inner strength. We haven't got the capacity really to be able to hold people in those difficult situations with empathy. And quite often what happens is people think that they need to do it for the person, rather than having the strength to be able to stand back and watch that person do it for themselves. And that's very much a part of mindfulness, this understanding that we are not our thoughts. We are actually much more of a body-mind. We just have got caught up in the thinking mind, which is separate to us. We can actually create a gap between thought and self. And the reason is when our grey matter gets all tangled up like this when we use it all the time, all day, and don't take those breaths and those moments to come back and be at peace with ourselves. And what mindfulness does, it just starts smoothing it all out. And when it starts smoothing it all out, you can think straight. The thing is, if we don't spend time focusing on our soothing circle and giving the space and the time that we need to bank stuff in there, we're not going to be able to create the resilience we need, because that's where the resilience comes from. It's strange almost to hear strength being talked about and the use of relaxation to be able to create strength. Meaning of compassion, because it's quite tough. It's not this, bleeding heart, giving of everything, giving of yourself until you've got nothing left. So Mr. Crocodile has really very few needs in life, and his main function is to survive. That's it. The next level of evolution is the mammalian brain. So that's towards our goals as a team, as a group, as a tribe, whereas the reptilian brain is very self-orientated, it's self-preservation, and that's all it's interested in. The new brain, which is the frontal lobe and what the human capacity brought to this whole thing. So the problems really start when we try to solve emotional internal problems with the thinking mind. And that's our challenge. It's okay on the TV hearing them say, oh, we want compassion in the workplace. But we need the time and the space to be able to create that compassion in ourselves.
To combat the effects of daily stress, you will learn how to release tension from each area of your body.
Two things. Ants and pets, right? Ants automatically
automatic negative thoughts. How many ants are going through your brain? And can you change those ants to being pets, which are performance-enhancing thoughts? Types of thoughts that you're having. Are the thoughts propelling your behaviour in a certain way, particularly if they're ant thoughts? Okay. And if that's the case, then perhaps you need to think a little bit differently in order to get a pet thought. The principle behind using a table like this is that it's a bit more enabling, and it helps you to think about things differently and use your rational brain, your thinking brain in this context. So it's about moving from being there in the thick of it, like if you imagine somebody in Afghanistan, an officer in Afghanistan, they're in the thick of it, aren't they? They're looking out and like they're managing with their hearts going like that, and they've got the rifle and they don't know if they're going to get shot upon. To actually lifting up and being the helicopter in surveillance and keeping an eye on the soldiers, and that's what you need to do. Lift yourself up and be that sort of helicopter, have more of a helicopter vision. But what he means by shut up, move on, it sounds a bit harsh, but what it is about shut up those thoughts that are controlling you or disabling you, and move on to either actions, thoughts that are more enabling.
As strong as you can, and imagine all that anger and all that tension just coming out the edges of your fingers, just whisk it all away, and then just let it stop. So if you need to, you can do that before you do your pause. When you bank your soothing practice, you're going to be topping up your self-compassion. When we're talking about self-compassion, we really need to start thinking about ourselves in a loving, nurturing, kind way. I'm sure you all already do that. But sympathy means that you just dive in there and get into that whole emotional sea with them. It's the tempered by the empathy which gives you that step back. So yes, first of all is that trigger of sympathy, but it has to have empathy coming in with it to stop you from wanting to fix it for them.
Well, the essence of today is not only to learn about compassion and resilience and how you can put on your both compassion and be able to bounce back a little bit more like an elastic band. It's also about fostering this compassion and resilience in the workplace. Because it's all very well you come in here and think, yeah, that was great, thanks Maureen and Jen, but what are you going to do with it? That's the thing, isn't it? You've got to change practice. So if the workplace needs to change, who's the first person to help change it? Yourself, isn't it? Yeah. Remember I said you're the CEO of your own organisation? How you behave and how you think, your mindset. So this championship model is basically 3 spheres, and for it to work you need to have an equilibrium between each of the spheres. If one area doesn't work, guess what? All areas won't work. It's like the weakest link.
Hi, I'm Christine Bell. I'm manager at Ravenstone Care Home in Carlisle, Care Limited. Ravenstone is a 13-bed mental health care home for older adults. We usually take age 40 plus. Today has been a wonderful day. We've thoroughly enjoyed it. Everyone who works in the care sector should be able to benefit from this kind of training. We have learned new therapeutic skills which should be put into action quite easily within the workplace if we get everyone on board. And I feel my managers and my owner of the home, he will back us, and I feel like everybody within the care industry should get an opportunity to do this.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Hyatt, registered manager from Heversham House. I've thoroughly enjoyed my day. I've learned so much energy to give to the staff where we work, and I feel that because there's a lot of younger people going into care, perhaps they haven't got the resilience, and they certainly have compassion, but not so much resilience. And I think this is a wonderful project to deliver throughout Cumbria.